Chapter 25, Episode 7, Emergency Part 2. Another one. After decades of rise block that was hard to get over than the camera angles in MMX7, the story of Iris continues. Please enjoy. 2 seconds. That's all it takes for someone to be transferred to just about anywhere in the world. Maybe. I think. Though even if that isn't right, it's the best ride a person can ever take in their life. A brilliant future symphony of lights and colors plays out right before your eyes. A dance of pure beauty and wonderment takes place a short distance from where you stand. You can call it anyway. It's more like floating, I guess. You're never really standing on anything. Unfortunately, the rides to the train service are far too short to really enjoy. Before I knew it, I found myself on solid ground with the Megaman also in my arms. A whole new color show began playing in front of me. Instead of being beautiful lights though, they were the standard colors that one would see in downtown Giga City. The various colors that belonged to vastly different outfits and, in many cases, body builds. Another advantage that a Trans-Siberian ride has over normal transportation: no sound. The lights play out in total silence, making it a real spectacle for the imagination. That's part of the reason that I found myself once again disappointed with the landing. Once I snapped back to reality, the hustle and bustle of city life once again reminded me that if ears in cities are loud. I cringed slightly as Tango jumped down. It was as if sound itself decided to slam right into my eardrums as hard as possible. With Tango now on the ground, I was able to snap my hands up to my ears to try and mute the noise a bit. This is probably what I get for having Mom plant me right in the middle of the city. It took a few seconds, but I eventually readjusted to a noise level. That meant that I could take my hands off of my head and glare a bit at the random passerby who apparently thought it was a little odd for birds to have to shoot their ears in the middle of the street. Jeez, I muttered more to myself than Tango. You'd think they'd never seen a girl in pain before. I looked at my wrist, thankful that the ever-useful, ever-handy watch minigame was wrapped around it. Funny thing about that though was that I didn't remember putting it on when I was getting dressed. Was I already at the point where being prepared for some kind of disaster was second nature? Anyway, I read the numbers on the watch's face. 2 p.m. Just barely afternoon. Man, was this day dragging. Tango and I began to walk through the crowd that composed of Saturday afternoon. Mom's aim had apparently gotten a little better, because across the street from where I landed was a building where illegal things were likely either happening or in the planning process. We walked in what was essentially a circle around the block that Burkina Industries encompassed. Seriously, what is it with these buildings and their architects' apparent need to make them as big as humanly possible? I mean, granted, this is a pharmaceutical company and they might need the room for some equipment that they would need to work on the medical stuff, but still. After the first lap, we started on another. This time, I glanced over at the bank from time to time. I can't remember which one the widow offices was hers, and that was a huge problem. If some kind of intergalactic colonel was going to meet with her like I thought, and that was a huge stretch, there might have been some kind of help if I could memorize which one of them she called her own. A chill went down my spine. I couldn't believe how easily and badly she beat me when we fought, and how stupid I made myself look trying to one-up her. About halfway through the lap, I learned that it's important to watch where you're going and to not to lose yourself in your thoughts. A lesson learned the hard way. If the body I ended up slamming into was an indication. The man I hit was barely phased, stopping for only a step or two. I, on the other hand, wasn't so lucky. I ended up losing my balance, painfully sacrificing both my dignity and my backside as I fell back. Few of the people walking around us turned to see the meaning spectacle. Some of them gave small laughs at my expense. Freak show today at 2. Thanks, jerks. And to think, I'm working to keep all of you safe and sound. Nice show of gratitude. Here, the guy bumped into the truck a bit himself as he offered a hand. Let me help. I wordlessly accepted the hand. Once I was up, I took a second look at the guy I'd head over. The guy had dark skin and black hair. I kept my eyes on his, simply because the screaming red t-shirt he decided was a good idea to wear and apparently not a pain in the eyes for anyone else capable of seeing. He looked oddly familiar, though. You okay, Iris? He asked, still smiling at your laugh. How do you know my... Oh, right. Now I remember. I scratched the back of my head kind of sheepishly. Hey, Jack. Sorry about that. He laughed again. No worries. I was standing in the middle. I guess staying in the middle of the street kind of puts me in the way, doesn't it? I wordlessly nodded in agreement. No need to add to my best by adding a little jerk to the mix. He looked up the old solid ink, now kind of interesting building. It's a little bigger than I was expecting. I nodded. Yeah, holograms tend to scale things down a bit. Again, he laughed. I was kind of starting to feel like a lame comedian trying to buy a laugh or two. Not exactly what I meant. TV broadcasts make this place seem about the same size as everything else around here. He craned his head back, trying to see the top. How far up are we talking? I scratched the back of my head. I'm not really sure. I had a little help getting to Burkhan's office, and I didn't exactly pay attention. Jed looked over to me. How'd you get there? Tango chose a particular moment to climb his way up onto my shoulder. He gave me a lift. I could see the puzzled look on Jack's face. After all, the look lasted on his for a few seconds, and he didn't bother trying to hide anyway. I just offered a small shrug. I'll explain it later. When I understood it myself. He shrugged himself. Well, for me, we got a spot set up as a little base of operations. Care to head over? Sure, I nodded. Tango hopped off of my shoulder. Together, the three of us made our way down the road. It took a while for us to get to where we needed to go, since we had to work our way through a couple crowds that gathered around some of the more popular shops in the area. It didn't help that Jack almost had to forcibly yank me away from a small ice cream stand, and I just happened to be a sucker for the frozen treat. I mean, come on. Who can resist the pull of quite possibly the best meltable snack in the world? I sure can't. After about 20 minutes and 3 blocks later, thanks to crowds and distracting goodness, Jack came to a stop right in front of a 7-story rundown apartment building. Well, he said, hand stretched out toward the building. Here we are. The landlord agreed to let us borrow an empty apartment. The others are already there, setting everything up. I looked the place over. It wasn't in the greatest shape possible. Heck, it was even in good shape. The outer steel shell that housed the numerous units was covered in dents and random paint drawings. A few of the windows that I could see were broken out. A few others were outright missing. I didn't even have to look down to see my opponent's reaction. I could feel Tank's disappointment upon seeing the place. I looked over at Jack and let him know exactly how I felt about the building at the time. You have got to be kidding me. Sort of. Leno said he keeps the front this way to try and discourage robbers. Thanks, the rundown look makes it look like a less appealing target. I shook my head. Makes it look more tempting if you ask me. Yeah, well, the place looks much better on the inside. I hope so. Tango meowed, probably in agreement. With that, 3 of us made our way inside. The disappointed parents continued in the lobby. It was a dingy carpet that didn't look like it had been cleaned in several years, yet somehow did not the obligatory offensive smell. The other spread itself across the floor. Cracks and scuffs all over the walls made the place seem older than it probably was, and the lack of lighting gave an air of a police interrogation room from centuries before. So far, it wasn't the kind of place I'd stay if I were on a vacation. And again, why would I come to Giga Safe for a vacation anyway? Anyway, Jack led us beyond the lobby, where a surprise struck me yet again. Turns out he was completely right. The faults that were seen from the front were completely forgotten. The tacky, out-of-health carpet was replaced by a dark blue one with a plague design and various shades of whites and blues and a very maintained appearance. The walls were painted a basic white, and lights every couple of doors made sure we could see everything in the hallway. Right, I said, slightly stupefied. Remind me to never doubt an officer's word ever again. Jack chuckled a bit. At least, not ours. We kept going for a few rooms, which gave me time to figure out whether the landlord was a mad genius for the initial appearance or just plain mad. Just enough, it turned out, as he came to a stop in front of the doors. Here we are. Room 115. Huh. Something about the room seemed familiar. I mentally shrugged. No real reason to get hung up over something stupid like a number, after all. Jack opened the door a couple of light knocks. We waited for a couple of seconds before it was opened. Not so much opened kindly as it was yanked to reveal a mess of curly hair and a smile that was way too sugary sweet. Glad you can make it, Jack. Jack stretched through clenched teeth. Something told me she wasn't in best of mood at the moment. It's not like we need your help getting set for the last 3 hours or anything. Sandman nervously scratched the back of his head. Yeah, sorry about that. Thought I'd scout the area. See her eyes. Yeah, sure. Like you're that forward thinking. She turned and grinned at me with a more genuine smile. Hey there. I saw her smile and raised a small wave. Hi. She stepped to the side. Well, don't just stand there. Come on in. We could use your useless one's help. Don't mind if we do. As he moved to walk to the door, I noticed that my good luck felt a little heavy. Great. Wrong problem I really didn't need. Thanks someone got word from me once I made it through. Among the visiting officers was a familiar figure carrying a box of who knows what inside. Said figure turned to us, smiled brightly, and offered a short greeting, consisting simply of, "Yo." 3 short, simple words ran straight through my head and out of my mouth. Oh, heck no. Trivia time. Answer. A classic from my childhood. Winnie the Pooh struck this post when he went into a state of deep thought. Question. Why would Iris get hung up even for a second on the hotel room? You might catch the answer if you play in any recently released first-person shooters.